I'm Mirel Abadiu, broadcasting for EuROmerica 1 in English and American. Oh, and a little Romanian. Was that okay?
euROmerica Uno!
Nuclear war? No, that's not gonna happen, man. No, the days of just walking up to the border of someone else's nation and saying, we're gonna invade you and take your wealth. Those days are gone, man. You know, wars are now fought very covertly, by overthrowing rival governments. I mean, that's the reason the United States government is hated all over the world. It's not because of our freedoms. It's not because we've got Disneyland or Miley frickin' Cyrus or Justin Bieber. No, it's because since the end of World War II, the U.S. government has developed a bad habit of going into other people's countries, kicking out their elected leaders, and then installing dictatorships, Or by going in with the IMF economic hitmen. You lend them more money than they can ever afford to pay back, and then you take all their shit as interest on the loan. It's genius.
The United States stands by Romania as a friend and an ally, and we look forward to continuing to broaden and deepen the very important work that we do together. Thank you.
Yes, we do work well together, don't we? America is choosing to spend their wonderful dollars on helping us build our country and improve our infrastructure, rather than spend that money on their own starving and poor at home. Now that is altruistic. Of course, there are still a few motorways to be finished here, even though we don't have the traffic to justify building them. I hope the Americans will help us make them big and long, just like in America, so we could travel coast to coast. Please, Americans, come over and build our country just as big as yours, even if that means taking over Moldova, Hungary, and however many other of our neighbors, as we need to make up the landmass. I think that went really well.
Yeah, they did it in Iran in 1953. They did it in Chile in 1973. In Iraq in 2005. Yeah, they just tried to do it again in 2009, but that fell flat on its ass, That's what they're trying to do in China and Cuba, Venezuela right now. And that particular model of empire building only works when the people of a nation will blindly follow the newly installed puppet government as they follow their own government. But that's not happening anymore, as evidenced by what's happening in Ukraine. They just tried the usual BS in Ukraine, but it's blowing up in their face as I speak.
And to Romania, I say I would be very suspicious of the message this lady is sending at this time, and seemingly out of the blue, while the Americans are claiming Russian troops are massing near the Moldavian border. In fact, I will go out on a limb here and say I wouldn't be surprised if the message behind Newland's words is Romania, be aware. We got Ukraine, but we're after the Russians, and we're going to use you simply because you're strategically well placed. We will even consider staging a false flag in Romania to create our pretext for moving against the Russians if need be. We've done it before many times. Beware of Greeks bearing gifts.
And I think we're beginning to see the end of globalism, the rejection of the idea of a single global government and a single World Bank. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's whose piece of printed paper the world's going to be using as a reserve currency for the next 100 years. It's crazy.